Real quick before we jump into the video, guys, for the rest of this year I'm going to be on a fundraising campaign to raise a minimum of £1,000 for the Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital. For more information on the charity and what it does, and for the donation links, please look in the description below. And thank you all for your continued support. Enjoy the show. What's going on, guys? Rivalry Teacher now, and we are back with the RBL Quarterfinals. Your Royal Bournemouth Rabombies are taking on the Norfolk Nidorinas and my Kryptonite Midnight Wolf. We faced Midnight 3 times before and we've unfortunately lost on all 3 occasions, so it doesn't bode well on past history. However, we have been pretty close to beating him before. We actually only just lost to a crit in week 8. So of course it's a rematch that we played relatively recently, so I'm fairly familiar with what Midnight brought against us last time. But nonetheless, I do think there are a couple of Pokemon that he probably brings this time. I'm semi-expected to see Reuniclus and a potential Trick Room setup. I think that's essentially what I'm thinking, because Trick Room plus Torkoal absolutely decimates my team, which is a little bit scary. But nonetheless, I do think this team is terrifying with that Sun Core, of course. Torkoal Venusaur is always scary, and Tapu Koko is a nightmare. Kommo-o is especially a problem. But what also makes Midnight challenging is the way he builds his teams. For those who have not seen any of Midnight's team builders, his link, along with all the other coaches, will be down in the description. I highly encourage you to check them out. But Midnight tends to invest a lot in HP. He does not tend to run speedier comps. He tends to run slower, bulkier comps. So even on things like his Tapu Koko, he doesn't typically run speed on. He typically runs bulk on it. So things that he brought last time, he brought Torkoal Venusaur. I believe Torkoal had a Sugar Berry, which I don't think it will have that this time. I think the Koko will probably have Sugar Berry, because I did murder it with a ground type move last time. So I expect to see that. Venusaur, probably the same set. I think he ran like a bulky special attacking set, because with the Sun up anyway, he outruns my Inteleon even with no speed. So that is something to bear in mind. Obviously, he does also have the Tailwind support with the Mandibuzz, which is a pick he is definitely becoming his signature right now. He brought Morgrem last time. I expect Morgrem to come again. The Prankster shenanigans is a little bit of a difficult thing to deal with. The Kommo-o, probably offensive policy, much like he brought last time. I think, honestly, if I'm him, I'd probably drop Torkoal for Reuniclus and maybe Morgrem for Tauros. That's probably what I would bring. Maybe the Palossand comes. But yeah, pretty much anything on this team except Drizzile will probably come. I don't think Drizzile has any place on the team going against me. Even though it has got some good things going for it, it doesn't do enough to summon my team that warrants it being picked. So yeah, he's got a very scary and diverse team. We also have a pretty scary and diverse team. Let's go through the team that we're bringing this time round, and we have changed things up a little bit. You'll see straight away that there's no Inteleon. That is going to be one of the major things, but we are bringing Whimsicott, of course. We caught his Sunsweeper to bait him to think that we're running Chlorophyll, even though we're obviously not. We're still running Prankster. With Worry Seed Tailwind, we dropped Beat Up for Helping Hand. Beat Up does not really make too much sense. He does actually run Power Swap on that Tapu Koko. He ran it against us last time. He's run it before as well. I just completely forgot about it going into week 8. But now we're going to prep a lot more carefully for it with the Helping Hand. This helps us out a lot as well. Worry Seed Tailwind, Helping Hand, Moonblast. Pretty much a standard set. Nothing too complicated on this set at all. But it does make a lot of sense. Worry Seed taking away things like Venusaur's Chlorophyll if he does opt for Sun. You know, take away things like the Kommo-o Bulletproof for the Reuniclus Magic Guard, stuff like that, or Regenerator, it's probably more likely to be. Yeah, definitely a pretty handy thing to have. Obviously, Tailwind is going to be the crux of this team. If he does not bring Trick Room, then Tailwind is absolutely imperative. We do have a faster team bar Tapu Koko, so that is something to bear in mind. Next up is going to be Terrakion. Now, one of the things that he mentioned, funny enough, in his Team Builder video, which I thought was kind of funny, because I almost brought it, was that he would be mad if Choice Scarf Terrakion came. Well, it's coming this time. This was actually my second choice of set that I didn't actually have enough time to test with my scrim partner beforehand. We've ran a few tests with it, and it's actually could be good. this could work out really, really well, depending on if the Tapu Koko has the Sugar Berry or not. If Torkoal doesn't come, then I'm going to assume Tapu Koko is Sugar Berry. It would make the most sense because it answers my Garchomp. But we are running Scarf, of course, with Rock Slide, Stomping Tantrum, Iron Head, and we replace Protect with Zen Headbutt. Zen Headbutt is actually very sneaky because I can actually use this to blow back the Comet-O. Which he may not expect to see. The other 3 moves are pretty standard. Again, no fighting move. I'm not super scared of Tauros, and if Tauros does come, I can just Iron Head and still spike up on it. So I'm not super bothered by that. Obviously, the -1 attack from the Intimidate is definitely going to suck. Alright. Next up on the team is BDSP Boss, of course, the Garchomp. We put the safety goggles on this instead of Tarak. I considered running Scarf on Garchomp instead. Maybe I should have done. Not sure, but safety goggles is there for any sleep powder shenanigans, primarily from the Venusaur. Because if Tapu Koko is not on the field, Venusaur can click sleep powder unless the Koko is running telepathy. Alrighty, but it's pretty standard, honestly. No change to its moveset. Rock Slide, Dragon Claw, Stomping Tantrum, Protect. With Rock Slide, because we are faster than everything bar Koko and Tauros, we actually do enough damage to get potential flinches. Would always be nice. Dragon Claw allows me to take on Comet-O, and Stomping Tantrum allows me to take on the Koko, especially if I Dynamax. Alright, next up is going to be Willpower, the Azelf. This is probably the biggest change to our team. Last time we bought Weakness Policy, but we ran very Spadef heavy. We ran like fully Spadef Assault. Well, not Assault Vest, we ran fully Spadef Policy. That's how we unfortunately got critted to lose the game in Game 3. This time we're going full hand, we're running Specs. Specs is actually kind of handy for us here. We are running Thunderbolt to take advantage of its electric terrain as well, so to hit the Mandibuzz. We do have Draining Kiss for Mandibuzz as well, but Draining Kiss is largely there to murder the Comet-O. But Psychic is going to be the big one. Choice Specs Psychic actually can destroy Venusaur, depending on the spread. If he's running a little bit of special defense on it, then he might live it, but aside from that, like, Specs Psychic can absolutely one-shot it, and Helping Hand Psychic from Azelf decimates Venusaur pretty much almost guaranteed, unless it's Focus Sash, but he normally runs Black Sludge, so I expect to see Black Sludge again. This does hit really, really hard. I do have to watch out for Mandibuzz, though. If I lock myself into Psychic at the end of the game, I won't actually be able to do any damage, so that is something I do have to consider. But if needs be, I can just lock myself into Draining Kiss instead, which will give me recovery. I prefer Draining Kiss over Dazzling Gleam. I was looking at Dazzling Gleam potentially, but as it's a spread move, it won't not one-shot the Comet-O, and Parker Potential Policy is not something I particularly want to do. Next up is going to be Manectric. This was originally our Scarfer, of course. It's now on Tarak, so we're actually running AB on this instead. This is basically to kind of counteract a fair few of his special attackers. I do have to watch out for things like Earth Power on the Venusaur and the Torkoal, obviously. But with Rising Voltage, Volt Switch, Snarl, and Flamethrower, we are Volt Switch instead of Eerie Impulse, so that we can run the Assault Vest, of course. Snarl is really good against his team. He has a very heavily special attack-based team. Pretty much all of his Pokemon primarily run special, with the exception of potential physical Comet-O and Koko, and Tauros, of course, but everything else is primarily special, so Snarl is going to be really impactful. Obviously, we don't outspeed the Tapu Koko if we're not running Scarf, but Koko doesn't really touch us except for Dazzling Gleam, and because we're Assault Vest, we actually take the Dazzling Gleams pretty well. We can also bait him to click an Electric-type move and then just switch in Manectric, get ourselves a special attack boost, and really start doing some damage. Rising Voltage is actually very, very scary against his team, so that is something to bear in mind. The one thing we don't touch too well is the Palisand, but we can Snarl it for some pretty half-decent chip damage, and obviously drop its special attack so it can't kill us back. And last but by no means least is going to be Jeff Bezos, the Celesteela. This is where the policy is this week. Now, this is a very risky bring, especially when you look at his team. You know, Venusaur gets a fire move with Weather Ball and Sun, Torkoal gets fire moves naturally, you know, Koko gets electric moves, Comet-O gets fire and electric moves. I think Reuniclus might actually get Thunderbolt, so that's something else I need to bear in mind. He has a lot of things that can hit me for super effective damage, but because we are bulky, we can actually live it, no problem. We are max HP, max special attack, so we're going to do our best to live this. We are Air Slash, Meteor Beam, Flash Cannon, Protect. The goal behind this really is to set up Tailwind and potentially max Airstream on something. Pretty much anything, to be honest. Excuse me, my throat is really dry. That'll allow me to outrun the Tapu Koko unless it's Scarfed, which I don't see Scarfed Tapu Koko coming anytime soon. But we are going to hit as hard as we possibly can. These 3 moves kind of hit most of his team as best as possible. Unfortunately, because we are special, we can't really run a ground move because, unfortunately, Celesteela doesn't actually get Earth Power, which is kind of surprising. But the Meteor Beam is going to be enough to deal with Torkoal, unless it's Assault Vested. So, yeah, we will be doing a ton of damage with this thing. Potentially, we can really rip a hole in his team, especially if he's running Trick Room. This is actually a really scary set for him. So I'm kind of excited to see if I can pull this off. I would like to have run a grass move like Giga Drain on this, but I couldn't fit it on the set. Maybe I should have replaced Flash Cannon, but I kind of wanted to make sure that I dealt with any potential physical threats, because there are a couple of Pokemon that can be very scary on the physical side here. You know, things like Wild Charge Tapu Koko is definitely a thing. It is something I have even been playing myself in Sword and Shield VGC. It's very strong, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he brought it. But yeah, that's going to be our team. That is what we are bringing. And a fun state of play for you for the league, I didn't talk about it at the start of the video, but I will talk about it here, is that if we overcome Midnight, and Benzosson beats Matt Flame in the other remaining quarterfinal left to play, that would mean that Benzosson would play Raikustik in the semifinals, and then I would play Playmaker, who defeated Saiyan. However, if Matt Flame then goes ahead and beats Benzosson, then that would mean that Playmaker would then play Raikustik, and then I would play Matt Flame. But in order for us to do that, we have to overcome Midnight first, so we will see what happens. But either way, that's going to be the team. Let me know what you would have brought down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. But either way, let's get straight on into the battle. See you in a bit. How's it going, guys? Future Rabambi here. Of course, as you can probably tell by the fact that there's not actually a battle screen here, we have a little bit of housekeeping to go over. One, I am a little bit bigger than the small little guy in the corner, as you can probably see on my screen. But aside from that, and about an hour or so before we were due to play, Midnight messaged myself and Raikustik that he is unfortunately having to forfeit due to ill health. Which sucks. I did offer to replay the match at a later time or reschedule for a later time, just because I feel bad about winning these kind of matches, plus I hate winning, especially against an opponent who I think should be winning the league this season. It obviously sucks that he has to forfeit this way, but either way, that is the outcome. Midnight was unable to schedule later on down the line, so it's a little sad. I do hate winning my matches via forfeit. You guys know this. I like to play my matches. I'm a competitor through and through. But at the end of the day, health does come first. So we do, of course, wish Midnight a speedy recovery. I hope he feels better sooner rather than later, because I know how it feels to be ill at this time of year. It sucks. But yeah, that means we do move on to the semifinals, and we'll be taking on either Matt Flame or Playmaker, depending on the result of Matt Flame versus Benzosson. But yeah, that's going to be fun either way, whatever happens. But that's just a quick rundown for you guys. I thought I'd show you guys the team builder anyway, because the team I brought was pretty fun. It's a really good team, and I'm kind of sad I don't get to use it. But who knows, maybe Midnight I might be able to find a time to just play it for fun. But yeah, I doubt it. Not going to hold my hopes up for it. But yeah, that's the quick update for you guys. So thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the semifinals next week. But either way, my name is Rabambi Teacher. I'm your coach of the Royal Bournemouth Rabambis. Stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. And if you liked the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell on so that you never miss an upload. We upload every single day on this channel. Make sure you're following me on all of my social medias on the screen right now. And a huge shout out to the shiny Rabambis of this month: Araya Jade, The Crazed Artist, Mr. Burns 1988, and Average Gaming 017. Thank you all for your continued support.